So disappointed.
I don't think I started it. I don't think we were live. Were we?
I think it has to count because I was hitting the go live button when you did it.
The spirit page? Okay.
I heard it. My name's going live.
See? I have a witness.
I will vouch for you. I actually.
Okay, well.
Hello, Irene.
Fuck it. Let's
Thank you for joining us tonight.
Let's just start it out right. Go ahead and hit 2 and let's just get it going. So, welcome everybody. We're live once again on Alabama Skeleton Key Unlocked and Uncensored. Tonight we have our special guest, Drew, from the Phoenix and Stags Wiccan Pagan Life Academy from the UK, and we're going to talk a lot about that, and he's going to tell us all about it. And Jess is going to go ahead and hit us with that waiver, and y'all let us know who's there, because remember, we're going to enter your name in for our lucky drawing to see who wins our witch basket.
All right, so our disclaimer. Number 1, the show is not intended for children. We have already broken 2 on the F-bomb counter. It's not intended for children. There's going to be swearing, discussion of content that could be inappropriate for them. So just, put them to bed. Number 2, we have eternally curious minds and love to question everything. At no point do we believe our opinions, religion, or beliefs are better or more correct than yours. They are simply our opinions. If you do not agree with us, that is absolutely okay. We just ask that you be an adult and just keep scrolling if it's not the show for you. We're an acquired taste. We know this.
I'm going to pinch out this corona one day. It'd be better on going on live with that one day.
There we go. All right.
Are you talking about our waiver there, Drew, going on live with that?
Yeah. That's a bloody good idea for us to do that.
Yeah, hey.
Well, because
we try to kind of head it off.
We tend to be
because
controversial.
We do get haters.
I'm looking forward
to that. Right. So
especially when we start questioning Christianity. Anytime, and we question our own religion, our own beliefs, our own ways of life. It's not that we picking on anybody, but we still get angry people telling us that this was blasphemy and they would have no part in it, literally.
But then
hello, Kathy. Is that Kathy that is in the back of you?
It is Kathy that's in the background. Thank you for sharing, Irene. Speaking of sharing, let's get this out and share it with everybody and make sure we got everybody so we can get their names in for the drawing.
If you want a little waiver for your group, if you kind of let me know what you want it to say, I can make you one and send it. I made ours. I make all of our graphic design.
Please, we'll put it on and we'll say massive thank you to you as well, because that'll be handy to have.
I do all of our little ads and graphic design. I do all that part. I enjoy it.
You look like you really do have fun with it.
Mm-hmm, I do.
Well, Drew, so let me start out and, say welcome to the show. And we're so glad to have you. It is, of course, midnight in Alabama. What time is it in the UK right now?
The time right now is 6:05 in the morning. 6 a.m.
Well, so I appreciate the fact that you woke up so early to be up with us. We're thrilled to have you. We're so excited to meet you and be able to talk to you and talk about what you do over in the UK. And so tell us a little bit about first tell us about you, because I've heard rumors that you're a clairvoyant or a medium.
So basically, let's get this in that area. First of all, it's my pleasure being here of all meanings. Second of all, I'd rather be here with you guys because you're lovely guys, and yeah, I don't class myself there. A lot of people. What happened was I started reading on social media about God going way back now. We're talking about 2018, past that, probably 2016, and people call me primary psychic on newspaper. I got called medium. I got clairvoyance. I got called spiritualist. I'm just Drew Nicholas. That's who I am.
That's valid.
Right.
That's valid. That's how we approach a lot of our gifts.
Right.
I simply say it all the time.
Go ahead, Drew.
I simply say it all the time. I simply tell everyone I'm Drew Nicholas. Yes, they can call me whatever they want to call me, but in my eyes, I'm just a simple person like you guys, just like everyone else.
Right.
I love working with spirit. Right. I love connecting. I've done work with a lot of people. I read out on another paranormal team. They just done a case. Before he went out, I predicted where he was going, and seeing what the location was. And it's now being put down in his documents as information. So it's kind of, I love connecting with the spirits, and I love what I need to do with them. They show me what I need to do. I simply work for the spirits, no one else.
That makes sense. That's really how we approach both our paranormal investigations and our show, and our the talents we have as witches, some of which are probably considered unique. We're just Jess and Terry.
Yeah.
I mean,
sounds like somebody decided to call you something, and then it just kind of was like.
Yeah. The only gift I claim to have is a really good bullshit meter.
Mm-hmm. And she does
people,
too.
Because they hear you're a witch, and they think you're a psychic or a medium or clairvoyant, or just they get all those ideas that you're teleporting or you're levitating or Drew, what they
riding
think.
broomsticks.
Yeah, riding broomsticks and all that stuff. So as we know, it is absolutely nothing like that. But if I had to say that I have one gift, I've got a really good bullshit meter.
Oh, and she does, scarily so.
Love it.
So, and it works really good, in our paranormal investigations too, which, that leads me into, tell us about your paranormal team. I know, you're a busy guy over there. You got a lot of stuff going on.
So I used to own a team called Paranormal Postmodern. I was first starting out my own team. We had people writing stories about us. We went out to locations. I rather bond with one location about a year. So one location per year. Because you have a much of a bond and a connection with that location.
Right.
Obviously, stuff happened. I'm not going to go into personal other stuff because we keep that off the.
Well, right. No, I understand that because we're the same way. That's kind of how our show ended up taking this witchy turn, because we started with things, which is basically paranormal, and we are, of course, spirit, paranormal investigators, number one. But because things are private, we don't talk about the clients, we don't share that personal, evidence and stuff like that. So there's really not much to talk about in paranormal world. I mean,
Yeah,
we
it
could talk about
limited
tools
what
and
we could
equipment.
discuss.
Yeah, we
It's
could
all
talk
more
about tools and
confidentiality.
equipment.
But
Right.
my real team I work for now is Red Rejects, which is a little base I work for. I work for these amazing two guys who's been running since 1997. They've been running for a long time. They've worked with a lot of cases and a lot of dealings. So they actually took me on as a spiritualist or medium, whatever you want to call it, whatever anyone wants to call it. Oh, she's disappeared.
Oh yeah, she does that to us. She looks like she was searching for something.
So to line it all off, I do the investigation. They go out on locations, and then I connect with the picture or the location if I go with them, and I'll start picking up on spirit and starting telling them what happened, and that's what I do. I just connect with the spirits. That's how I work from.
Very cool. Sarah, welcome to the show. Well, Drew, that's interesting. We have a location here that we refer to as Graceland of Alabama, and we've investigated it for well over a year now. We all have our theories of what's happening. Sometime I'd like to go over there and video call you in and see what you get from over there.
You're more welcome. You're more welcome to do that. I'll be happy.
It's an interesting case, and of course, we will talk more about that at a later date. So, tell us about witches Phoenix. Tell us about your witches that are at Phoenix and Stag's Wiccan Pagan Life Academy.
Okay, so for over 20 years of experience of ourselves, so we all been practicing for many years actually when we start off, well, believe it or not. Me and my wife, we met on the same kind of platform. My wife has been practicing in many covens. My mum used to get a book of shadows, and I was only roughly about between anywhere 5 and 8 when I first discovered she had a book of shadows in the house. So, in all this together, it all connects as a spiritualist or as an inner witch. I've been practicing for years off scene, as meaning in the quiet background, and I wanted
Right.
to experiment more as a Welsh and as a Celtic myself. I wanted to understand where my family tree come from, what are my original cases. I liked how to heal people. I worked in the medical service for quite a while, and I was a carer for about at least 7 years in Proximant as well. And then I started training for my nursing in the care field. Finished that area, and I wanted to start working with Wiccan and Pagan and other witches. And because we're all in one, and I hate it when people argues about how witches are these days. Do you get where I'm coming from?
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
they either want something on top of it or they want that area. But the academy I created was the Phoenix and Stags Wiccan Pagan Life Academy. Why is that saying that? Phoenix and Stags is basically the rising up of ashes. It's the most powerful phoenix. It's the most powerful creature
Right.
renewing after you had emotional life. And Phoenix is me, has been rising up because I got put down a lot, and I decided to bring that along. And the stags, I love about the stories of On God. I love how
Right.
it created nature, and I loved how it created us as witches. It really did. Because never back in the days, witches were never called witches. They were just simply themselves gathering.
Right. Or they were the healers or the midwives or
Yeah,
that they were the old ladies or the old men that all the town folk went to when their kids were sick and said, "Hey, will you mix me up that tea?" Or, what was
They
that
do
stuff you
something
gave?
really nice. They'll do something really nice for people. So that's
Right.
what I'm wondering
Right,
about.
Yep. They were the
And
person running the apothecary in town.
ah, I
right.
love.
Well, I believe that, you know, without witches, we wouldn't have, modern medicine and the doctors and stuff that we have now. They, in a sense, work witchcraft in what they do.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, there are a lot of professions and even hobbies and such that if you really step back and look, they're just witchcraft with a pretty name.
It's the same. It's the same. All of them. It's all
A
anything. In medical
pharmacist?
or
Tell me that a pharmacist is
it's
not.
a hiblis. It's a
And I'm talking
hiblis.
about the
Yeah,
ones who
the
actually
the
build
compounding,
pills,
the
yeah,
compound
compounding.
pharmacists, yeah.
Tell me that
All
that is not an herbal
all they
witch.
doing, all they doing is adding extra information on the hips of medication. That's all they doing
Yeah,
is adding extra.
they're absolutely an herbalist.
Right, right,
That's what pharmacy is about.
A garden, a green witch, essentially.
But
right,
the life of academy is basically the explaining of we are witches as for the rest of our lives, and we enjoy it, don't we? We really do.
Oh yeah.
So I come up as an academy with this to help and coach others through their path, is seeking what they want to do. I'm there to let them take it because they got to take it. It's down to
right,
them if they want to take it.
right,
I'm there supporting them, coaching them through it, and giving the advices and coaching them, training them. We offer like these other courses, but it's about how they become themselves as one and on their path. They choose their own path. We don't choose it for them. We don't give them that area. We learn them and show them how to go through it, and just give them the right a push to where they think they want to be today. So that's what Phoenix and Stacks
right,
Academy is
right.
about.
And that's the way, yeah, the classes that I take here in Birmingham, Alabama, um, they're the same way. They show you what they call the Magic City tradition way of doing things. But, he also, very much concentrates on you have to find your path, whether it's Wiccan, whatever it is, whatever calls to you. This just is like opening the door, teaching you a new way of doing things, or but never telling you. I mean, I get on the internet and I get so frustrated when I see, you know, these older or people that have been practicing longer will say, telling someone else they're doing it wrong. Because in my opinion, it ain't shit. But in my opinion, there is no right or wrong. If it feels right to you, then it's right.
I totally agree. It's no right and wrong in this craft in any some sort of shape. It's no right or left or up and down. It's always about how they want to proceed it. What bugs me in this area, and this is not going against 1,000 witches, this is going against that lining of it is no right and wrong. They need to learn, they need to practice, they need to focus, and that's what they there to do for. That's what they need to do. In any motions of any elders, respect to them, but they need to stop saying it is right and wrong. Because even
Hmm.
we say it's no white or black magic, it ain't. It's just magic. But the lining of that fact in
Right.
is understanding if they can do it. Because you are going to do potions, it is going to come back on you. But that's how you learn. That's how you get it
Hmm.
processing. It's no
Well,
right and wrong.
and I don't like gatekeeping at all. It really frustrates me when older witches. I actually had a friend of mine. She was told that she could not learn about grave magic because that was a generational witch thing. That was a bloodline only thing. She could not learn any of it because it was only if it had been in your bloodline. And it was just like, The only thing you need to practice witchcraft, the one thing that you are required to bring to the table, is intention. Everything else you use, tools, cards, rune stones, it doesn't matter.
Candle, yeah,
That's all
all,
just window
yeah.
dressing. That's all just window dressing. All you need is
Yes.
intention.
No, I totally agree, and especially when we're making our magic or what we're doing as a craft or doing anything, we do need tension, and that's the mind bringing. I forgot the name of it. Here we go. This is the bit where we get fun and giggling. Um, it's when we bring that tension and also manifesting into what we are today. It's also doing that as well. You don't need a tool. Any tools be brilliant. A cam, let's use this cam. That could be a tool in witchcraft if we want it to be. But
Yeah.
as long as we manifest into
Right.
that cam or find our attention into it, that's what I'm
That
saying.
is all that matters.
Right.
That is all that
Right.
matters.
Well, it's like, Mitchell, my teacher, and I'm name dropping here, from Books, Beans, and Candles in Birmingham, Alabama. He has taught us that the minute you start thinking of a spell, that minute is when that spell starts. No matter if you start working on it later that day or a week from now, the minute you thought of, I need to do this or I'm going to do this, you're starting to work on it. So, yeah, you don't need all the fancy shit to get, that was, his, bottom line on it was you don't need all the fancy tools and all that. All you need
Exactly.
is yourself and the intention.
And then Wayne and Kathy have good points too. Wayne said there's no right or wrong in the whole of the paranormal spiritual field. We all just need to have respect for one another. And that's correct. Not even just in witchcraft, in the paranormal world. I mean, there are ways that you
Right.
can make it
Just
harder for yourself.
just as human beings, I think Jess said it one day when she said, um, how did you say it about being at the table?
Oh, wait.
Yeah, you said something. It was
Respect on the table?
no, about we don't want you to starve. We just don't want you to
Oh,
eat it. Or
yes.
yeah,
We're saying our whole thing is I may not agree with you. That's fine. Like I want to see you eat. I don't want you to starve. I just don't want you to eat at my table. Like I want to see you eat. I want to see you being taken care of. Just not at my table, damn it. This is my bubble. Stay over there. We good. There are very few people that I have a full out like I want you to starve mentality toward. Very few.
Wow.
And then what Kathy said, I can see, a type of witchcraft being stronger based on bloodline, but we would have lost so many practices if bloodline was a necessary thing. So many things would have died out. And you also referred to Magic City, and with Drew being from the UK, he may not know, Birmingham, our big city that's right here near us, is actually called the Magic City.
No, it's the same in Bristol. It's actually the same because it's like a magic city. Because in Bristol we got in the UK, this is more like fairyland and fairy tales. Mythical creatures being here. We got giants in the area. We also had witches and goblins through this area. Pirates being here. So, and we also got
our Magic City is really not magical like that at all.
So we do have a big statue of Vulcan, the Vulcan.
Yeah, I do. I believe I could be wrong on this, but I believe that the term Magic City for us actually came from back when the steel revelation took off and people came here to work the steel industry, and they called it
have a very big steel industry.
It was called the Magic City, because they could come here and make money and do things. So I believe that's the history of why we are called the Magic City. We'll have to look that one
Anyways,
up, Jess.
We will have to look that up. So
it's gonna be some good background story in that area because it's gonna be it would have been.
Oh
amazing.
yeah, it's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
And I guess to wrap up the discussion on that is basically, do you want to be a witch? Then you are a witch. Start learning.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, it doesn't have to be bloodline, or you don't have to have years and years of training, or
You don't. Yeah,
I
you don't
mean,
have
that
to
helps.
have
It
someone
helps.
mentor you. But I didn't. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have. I just began practicing on my own at the witchcraft classes at the same place that Cherry goes to. That was the first time I had ever taken any sort of classes.
You could be any age. Any age.
Yeah,
Start
any
off.
age.
You could be a witch.
You could be
Anytime.
like us, where we like stamped it down inside ourselves and pretended it didn't exist for 20 years.
I was having this I met this other guy, and I can't remember what he does now because I talk to a lot of people like literally every day. It's literally no stop for me, and he's about 49 years old. He's done a lot of study, and he was amazed. He was amazed, and he went to me and said, "I've never met anyone with such knowledge as you. A 29-year-old bloke, 49-year-old is no different. We both had the same knowledge."
Exactly.
Yep,
I
absolutely.
believe that too.
Grab
You
my
know, and it's
scissors.
just like I told Kathy, you know, I believe being a witch is a way of life. You know, witchcraft is just like, you know, the women getting together and sewing quilts together, you know, way back when. You know, getting together in circles and crafting. It's the same thing. We craft our spells, or we craft whatever we're doing. It's kind of the way I looked at it. And, you know, Kathy just posted, you know, she learned yesterday she's more of a witch than she thought because her spell worked. Well, I've been telling her that for a long damn time. Did a tarot card reading on her tonight before we came on the show. And, you know, lo and behold, what did the card slap her in the face and tell her? Stop holding back and fighting what's within you. And I'm going to give a little bit of Kathy's business here. She struggles with general happiness. You know, she kind of chasing that happiness on. And I keep telling her, until you find it within you and can let that, you know, the rest of it will come together. You know, the right job and, you know, all that kind of stuff that everybody is always seeking, you know, in life. So, and I've been slapping her in the face with it. This is the second or third reading I've done for her in, 3-4 years, Kathy? And every reading I have done, it's been building. But this one tonight, like, just slapped her in the face and said, you know, get the fuck over it. You're a witch, and just accept it. Yeah. And once you accept that and start working with that, the rest of it is going to come together.
It does.
You did a tarot reading for her?
I did.
Is that what you said?
And I did those cards that mysteriously, you know.
Yes, we've had some excitement in the tarot card area.
So that'd be
very
3
odd
on the F-bomb counter, Jess. Since Jesse Wilson ain't here, I'm keeping track.
I sent her the link.
And I'm gonna give our little waiver here. Everybody that's watching, you know, make sure we get your name. And Kathy is kind of helping with that tonight. Excuse me. We're gonna put everybody's name in a drawing. The more you watch, the more your name goes in. And sometime in February on one of our shows, we are going to draw one name for a witchy goodie bag. Don't know yet what's going to be in it, but it'll have some witchy goodie stuff. And Drew,
it'll
we
be
did put you
things.
in last week.
Might have some tea, some bath salts, some crystals. You know, obviously,
right.
I have a few.
Right, and of course, because being coming. being it come from Alabama, we'll make sure we put in something from Alabama there
Yeah.
too. Um, and so, yeah, Drew, we did put you in last week because you were watching the show, and we're putting you in this week for being a special guest on the show.
Oh, thank you.
So, yeah, every time you view the show, make sure you comment and let us know. We get your name, and we're going to drop you in a little bucket. And,
for each show you
just make
view,
sure
your name goes in that many times.
Right. So we are on Thursday nights at 10 to 11 p.m. Central Standard Time in the United States. Not sure what time that is in the UK. And then we are on Sunday nights, our Alabama Skeleton Key Unlocked and Uncensored version on midnight Central Standard Time in the United States. So, and Drew, we do thank you again for having you join us, and we're so excited that we've built this friendship with you, and
Well, I'm happy to be
can't
part of
wait
something
to see
special.
where we all go.
I'm
Absolutely.
happy to be part of something special. This is what we
so
call collaboration. So
exactly, and I had seen the post that you had made the other day about witches coming together and supporting each other, and I was going to comment there, and I thought, well, you know what, I'm going to save that for the show. And I 100% agree. I think, and it's just like we were saying, it's about having respect. We don't have to practice the same. We don't have to do the same thing. I don't care if you're worshiping, this green spaghetti man. I don't
Flying
care if,
spaghetti
you're
monster.
my husband, the flying
Pastafarians.
spaghetti monster. My husband is Catholic. I mean, so I
How did
don't
we
give a
end up with
damn.
Catholic born
We
men?
we can all be friends and get along if we just respect each other's feelings and support each other's feelings, and don't try to bend me in your direction. Now if I come to you and say, hey, you know teach me more about, that's one thing. Like me going to my classes, there are people enrolling in Phoenix and Stags. They're coming to you because they want to learn more. But these people that are beating down your door and trying to drag you off to church and save your soul because you're going to go to hell and burn.
If those are the
That's
kind of people in heaven, I think I'd prefer hell.
can I just say something very highly honest, and I will apologize on the religion side of it, just because I'm a respectful guy. The religions, if we're going to go about religions, I'm really not happy much with the religions on the Christianity side.
No.
You're not going to go to hell. You're not going to burn in hell. You're not going to do it because if they look back in their books or the Bibles, it actually stated Christianity was part of the witchcraft at that time as well. They actually was part of that. They
Yeah,
became
absolutely.
journey. So, in all respectality of it, they should not ever say to anyone, "You're going to go to hell," or "You're going to do this," because
or suffer not the witch to live.
Yeah,
I get that one a lot.
It really bugs me when witches get you from it, because me and my wife, we lived in this little village and it was full of Christianity. And when I found out they had witches and paranormal going on, we actually had about quite a few people at the door saying we were devil worshippers. Now that's completely a separate, different information.
Exactly, that's completely different. But that is exactly where they go. They hear the word witch or paranormal, and they immediately go to, you're worshiping the devil.
Well, if it went for a priest, a Catholic priest, actually literally spoken to me and my wife, he actually come to our house and he stated to everyone, you should be embarrassed or ashamed of yourself, because God would have been classed as one as well, because he walked on water, he reduced it, the same particular things a witch would have done. And he pointed out his area. He went against some of the church stuff, but you want them to realize it was more to the story and what they actually stated about. They started and created it as well. They took stuff from the pagan side of it as well, and they put it in the Bible as well, including.
Well, and
Right.
on that point though,
Yeah.
it wasn't just the Christians that, like, as far as taking on
There was some
religions and
Catholics
stuff.
as well.
Some of it was witches themselves trying to bring those practices over so they could still practice in secret. So they would still be practicing their traditions, but they made it look like it was Christianity. So it was a little bit of everything, basically.
But that's what I loved about, doing the research how I done it, is it annoys me when someone says you need to be punished for being something you enjoy or something you do as what you got as a gift. And they shouldn't be doing that. That's what I'm stating, is they shouldn't be doing that.
Around Christmas, and I know you didn't find our show before that, we did, several shows, what was Jesus a witch? And I have said, since I discovered that I'm not a Christian, and I can't fit myself into that world no matter what I do, I'm a witch. Then, when I started thinking about Jesus and if he truly did exist, which I think there's a lot of evidence that says that, he did, if he did exist and he did do the things that the Bible says that he did, then what would he be classified as today? He would be classified as a witch. If he could turn water into wine, think about
Walk on water.
Right. If Jesus was on earth in 2022 and performed the things that he did, they would say he's a witch, he's a devil worshiper, or he's a loony bin and needs to be locked up in the loony bin. They would never believe he was, something not of this world, sent by, Invisible Sky Daddy.
In my opinion,
even
honestly,
though that they've believed in this their whole,
during his life, I think he was a witch, and when he died, he either became a zombie or a vampire, because those are the only ones that come back to life.
I'm a zombie fan.
Well, my theory on that is he wasn't really dead.
That's also a possibility.
On the whole,
I like the vampire possibility, but I've also read a lot of smutty fantasy.
Wait, now, hey, I love The Walking Dead. Let me go ahead and plug it. If any of y'all from The Walking Dead ever watched this show, love it. I hated when Rick left. Has not been the same. But I still love The Walking Dead. But yes, I've said that too, that either Jesus was a zombie, and I didn't really consider the vampire aspect of it, but there's that he was a vampire.
It has plausibility, you gotta admit.
Right. Or he really did not die on the, he somehow survived that and laid there and got better, strong enough to get up and walk away in 3 days. I mean, that's a possibility. We've seen stranger things happen. Human survivor kicks in, and you do what you do and you survive.
Well, and I had a train of thought and now I've lost it. Dadgummit. As soon as I started to talk, my train just derailed.
I hate when that happens.
I'm going to sympathize with you on that. Oh, I get that concept.
Those days,
we call that a brain fart around my house.
Same.
Yeah, that's a brain fart around my house.
Oh, I remember. So, say that the, majority of things are true. God is real. Maybe he, whatever. I'm sorry. I don't necessarily think that the Christian God doesn't exist. I simply don't think. I think that he's not the only deity. He's just one deity who decided to get uppity and try and take over a whole planet. And Jesus was probably a demigod. Because God got freaky with a human, would be my guess. Like Zeus.
That
Zeus be doing that stuff all the time. Look how many children that man had.
It's making me think now, really, 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 really well. How
Right.
It's making me think because in this terminology, we got other gods. So say let's use triple goddess, or let's use Thor, or
We can use the Morrigan. The Morrigan is one of the
Yeah.
my patron. That's my patron goddess, or one of them.
okay. So basically, in my head now, I'm thinking right here, they all got the word God inside it. Yeah, God, 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 or goddess. Okay, so God was claiming to be God. Well, how is it other gods involved?
Well, and why would he need to say in the Bible that thou shalt have no other gods before me if there weren't other gods to have before him? He
No,
said, hey, there are
yeah,
other gods, right? Like, he admitted it. We got receipts.
So it is other gods out there.
Exactly.
So it's not
But I
one.
do agree with what Kathy is saying there, talking about a lot of the major religion deities are the same, because if you get down to the core of a lot of the major religions that we have as a planet, they're so similar. And I think that
I agree.
it's different aspects of the same dadgum. It's the same deity. It's
Right.
just different aspects. It's
Right.
been interpreted different ways. Same deity. My opinion. I think that was what Kathy was saying.
I
Yeah,
actually agree
or
with that.
different interpretations of the same gods or goddesses, or
Exactly. But
They all
God
got the same,
God
I
was
agree.
not
They
the
all
only
got the
God, and
same
he
role.
admitted it. So
They all got the same role, but in a different way.
exactly.
And that's how I look at it. As this is absolutely amazing. I'm sorry, I'm enjoying myself because you don't have that many talk, and I love the show.
It's
It's
nice
just
to sit and chat about all, let's pick each other's brains. And like we said in our disclaimer, we question everything. And it makes for good conversation.
it's nice to be
right.
questioning everything because some people say don't question yourself, and me being a teacher and a coach, it's really important for them to question everything to know what they feel like they've done, and they
Mhm.
can get the answers for themselves. It's just the same
Right.
for yourselves on your journey. Question anything, and this is what I love about your show.
Like, do you know
Is
how many
you do it.
problems that I caused for myself in my life that if I had just taken a second to question myself, I could have saved myself a lot of time.
Exactly. Oh my
Like,
God, so
I
much stuff. So much
luckily
stuff.
I have, spicy mental illness, so I question everything 5 times. But oh, I didn't used to, and God, I was so stupid.
No, you're not. You're not stupid.
Oh, I was. Oh, I was.
It's that common of life how to find the right questioning of it. It's like an ego. We have to find it until we did, and you actually found it now. So
Yeah.
I don't call anyone stupid, and that's how they find the inner path of themselves. It's one of the most important factors of being a human being of it, and then being a witch.
Mhm.
Now, Drew, I like that you called yourself a teacher and a coach. So, I'm going to jump back to the academy. Now, this is online. I take it that are we online, or do you have like a brick and mortar
So
building?
the aim at the moment, because of COVID situation, and I hate talking about that area of that line, but it is an online place until we get an actual building, which we are looking at the moment. We will have an actual school in UK, a full-on build school in UK for other witches to come along and be part of that. And we'll have bedrooms there where they can sleep and study as well.
Oh, cool. So
Well,
yeah,
I'm
that I
I'm
mean,
gonna say it because anyone who is younger who watches this, my age, roundabouts later, who watches this later, they're all gonna want the question. So you're making a Hogwarts.
I was a bit of a Harry Potter fan, but yeah, we're making an actual like a Hogwarts.
It makes sense. It's
I
not a bad
mean,
idea.
yeah, I mean,
The magic is
so
just not as flashy.
right. So, I will, give Drew the plug that he is the first Wiccan and Pagan Academy in the UK. So I mean, this is a huge thing. And for those of you, who get in with him and learn from him, I mean that's the really special thing. So, can you tell us what kind of courses do you have, Drew?
So I did have my mobile in front of me, but it's kind of a massive list. We can go from learning finding the secret space to learning magic, learning about history of witches, when it began before they become recognized witches. Um, it offers, mirror scribing. It offers about how you work with your energy, your chakras, how many level platform it is. We give a massive understanding right in the book of your shadows. I also do blessings as well. On that, I train them how to do blessings because it's nice to build up their confidence at the end of after achieving all these certificates. They get an actual training on that, and then they can go off and do a blessing, a wedding, and it can take approximately years. But to get there, if they want to go there, if they want to go slowly or we can go fast, it's about making it feel comfortable for them. But
Right.
yeah, we offer.
So it's a go at their own pace kind of thing.
Yeah, it really is. It's important for them to know their own pace, and it's important for the academy to recognize their pace, how they work, and
That's
what
really important. That is the best way to learn, is to give them that space. Give them that
Right.
space to decide how they learn best, at what pace they learn best. It just gives them breathing room. It's less of a stress like typical school.
It is. It is. It's we don't want to be like schools put on too much on them, but we want to make sure we can provide that information correctly to them, and they can come to myself or my wife and find that comfort and support in the UK. And the UK is going to be one of the biggest academy, and we want to bring other witches like yourself involved with that as a connection, so they can come to you as well in the near future if they want to say, is there anywhere in my place? And I can say, well, yeah, we work with the Alabama witches, and we connected with them. We got the area. So our aim is to have abilities of witches to be there to support them, and also make them feel comfortable, knowing they can speak to other witches as well. Because academies, it's about connecting as one for all of us, and it's about working together, seeing other witches working, seeing them how they work, speaking to them, understanding the information. Because opinions are very important to the student, really important. And if they can hear your opinions as well, and learn what you want to learn them, my academy is an open book.
Well, and I think having witches from all over join or be, networked with, so you can reach out to them. I think what makes it so important is that you could have someone in the UK who practices exactly the same way, exactly the same thing I practice, but we're still going to be very different in our practices, even though we're practicing the same thing, because there's regional things to keep in mind. And Kathy says she is waiting for her owl. Will you be delivering invitations via owl?
I would love to.
Hey, Nick, thanks for joining us.
Yes. Kathy also asks if people in the U.S. can join.
Oh, yeah. We actually took on 2 other new students from the United States. And already I can't disclosure too much because data protection, but all I can say is they've got reading problems, and they love it already because we provide them support by students, by other students, and give them the comfort, and then we can help them to learn and stuff.
Yeah, it looks like you're going to have, you'll have people that you teach in person, but you're also going to continue having the classes via video online and such.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
It's gonna
important.
be
So,
That's
Drew,
awesome.
it looks like you've got a fan. Nick has said, Drew, he is surprised to see you here. So,
Nick is my
we,
good
we
friend.
were we were really excited that Drew wanted to join us here on Alabama Skeleton Key. And Drew, you're welcome to come and join us anytime
And I
because
know we're actually going to be joining Drew over on his podcast, which is on DNTV.
One of the entertainment shows we have like a good mixture now at the moment. We just finished having an interview with Tony Jackson, who does horror films and worked with Sylvester Stallone, Rocky.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
but we have a mixture like paranormal, TV movie actors, and DNTV is our entertainment network channel. And for you guys, it'd be like a really special honor to come and have you on that show because I would love to get you out there, and it's about networking, supporting each other.
Absolutely. That's how we make it.
DNTV is about.
Right. Well, I mean, it's a special honor for for you to be on with us. Our little video
Absolutely.
show here in Alabama. Here, I'm in Vincent, Alabama. And that don't mean shit to nobody because it's about this big on the map, if even that. And Jess is over there in another itty bitty town about
Well,
this
see,
big.
here's the funny thing about mine, though. See, like, I can walk to Chelsea High School, but I am technically zoned for Pelham High School, so Pelham and Chelsea, Alabama. But
Wow.
technically, I am in unincorporated Shelby County, Alabama, because neither town claims us. We're on this
you
perfect
actually know
little
far from
line.
each other then.
No,
You
not
literally
at
know far
all.
from each other.
I actually met Terry because she was best friends with my husband's mom, and her kids grew up with my
Our
husband.
kids grew up together. My kids grew up with Jess's husband.
Yeah. So I'm not sure how we ended up.
The paranormal, because I was going on an investigation. I mean, I think we were friends on Facebook because, of course, you were married to William.
Right, yeah, I know that.
And
You reached out because you had, I want to say, Louisiana
Jesse,
investigation.
my daughter is also Jessie as well. And we were sitting at one of her kids' doctor's appointments. And remember, it was that Florida. It was the lady in Florida
Oh,
investigation.
yeah. Nobody
And,
else would be able to go on such short
right,
notice.
she made it, she was desperate, needed somebody there now. And I was just trying to, because of course you never investigate alone. And I like to go in with 3. 3 is just, my number. So I feel safer about going in an investigation, especially if it might be a little dark and creepy, I
Like
want to
that
go
one was
in
supposed
with
to have been.
3. Yeah, that one was supposed to, kids were, being hurt and stuff like that. There was some creepy stuff going on. So I mentioned to my daughter and said, damn, I really need somebody to go on an investigation. Because I have, one other teammate that was going. And she said, well, Jess Beauregard, William's wife, would love to go. She talks to me about that all the time. And I said, well, hell, send her a message to see if she can go tonight. Or I think it was that night. And
It was that
that's
night.
how
It
we
was
met.
like,
I picked you up. Yeah.
Yep. And that was the end of that. Then all of a sudden, I don't think we ever
And that
even
was the
said,
end of
"Hey,
that.
just join the team." It was just I was suddenly I was there. There was never even a discussion. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
It was just done. It just happened.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
it was,
then
how it
we
is when
worked
people come
together.
in. Right, people come into your life and you just know that it's just supposed to be. It just fits.
That's kind of like what
Kind of
happened
like
to me.
you, Drew.
Phil.
But yeah, that's how it happened. With you kind of came into our life and it just kind of felt right, like it fits.
Well, and the more we worked
We
together,
got a bestie.
we
got a
went on.
bestie in the UK now.
Yep. Well, and with me and Terry, just the more investigations we went on, the closer we got. Now we spend about 80% of the day voice messaging back and forth on Facebook about
Oh, it's
whatever,
or texting, or something. Yeah, it's about
something.
investigation. Which we have an investigation coming up this weekend, so we're still
Yes.
waiting to get word if we're going to be able to stream that live. But everybody stay tuned. Saturday night, well, I know I'd say if we're going to be able to go live, it'll be about 10:30 Saturday night Central Standard Time. So if anybody wants to help us investigate this place, it should be interesting. And Irene, that
Yes.
is the place that you watch the videos on. We've had to postpone it a few times.
I just realized something. Irina's out of Facebook jail.
Irene, you're out of Facebook jail. Yay! We need one of them soundboards where we can hit the applause button. And we need one that's a slammer, the door, the jail doors slamming.
Yes.
I mean, nothing.
Yes.
Poor Irene. She's been in Facebook jail most of the time. All these months.
And I don't understand
so
it.
bad.
She's such a sweetheart. I do not understand why they put her in Facebook jail all the time.
It's cruel what they're doing. Well, it is a big point. We all should go and sack the Facebook owner and tell him
Zuckerberg.
Yeah, Zuckerberg. And tell him
such
to
a
stop being
sucker ass.
I'm just reading Nikki's message. It's a paranormal brother. So yeah, Nikki's like a really awesome mate. I had him on my show. He does amazing books. That kid, I've absolutely had him following for ages. And Irene, she's been an amazing mod for DNTV for a long time. Me and Irene known each other for ages, and she's a brilliant woman. I will fact check.
Oh, absolutely. We cannot wait to get her on the show to talk about some things that she has been through. She has a really unique take on so many things. It's been wonderful to chat with her in the chat.
She's amazing. She's a really amazing woman, Irene. I love how she works, and I love how
we love Irene.
She's brilliant. We're highly fortunate, and everywhere.
And Sam's not here. I'm very disappointed.
I was looking forward to seeing Sam.
She had messaged me and said something about that she may not make it. She may pass out. So, that happens. So we are taken down to like our last 30 minutes. And we were, bless you back there, Kathy. Oh, and again, we were going to make Bridget's crosses tonight. Drew, are you making those with us?
I'll make it with you. If I got the right time.
Yay! So, Drew, tell us about the history, because I know it comes from, now it's really Ireland, I believe.
Yes, because it was based
from.
around. She was a goddess in pre-Christian Ireland. She was considered a member of the Tuatha De Danann, which were by many considered to be the fair folk, the fairies. Right. So she was the daughter of the Dagda and the wife of Bress.
Oh.
So her day is actually called Imbolc, or it's also called, where is it at? St. Bridget's Day was the Christianized version. Candlemas, that's the other name, Candlemas. And it is February from midnight, February 1st, all the way to the end, I think midnight on February 2nd.
It's usually to the February the 2nd, is it?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So it's for full 2 days.
I have to look back up on that area, because there's a lot of things going through my mind. You put me on the spot now. Because I usually know what I'm talking about, and sometimes I get lost in between. So I'm gonna put my hands up there, guys. You have to live.
Oh, hey, we're not gonna lie. We Google shit before we get on the damn
I
show
ha- I
because
have a second monitor that is nothing but tabs open about Involk.
um
Don't feel bad at all. And a YouTube video on how to make a Bridget's cross.
yeah, look, hang on, y'all. I had to watch the video earlier. And did you do the four-legged or the three-legged cross, Jess?
I am actually doing the 12 rush cross.
Oh,
So that's the four-legged. So I
Uh,
did the three-legged.
oh, right now I
Um,
know where you are. Now I know where you are. I know this one. It's a South. What they class islands is South
Celtic. Yeah.
Celtic, but it's actually not. It's actually Greek.
Ah.
So Ireland has been classed as Celtics, but it's all because of the the Romans, come down to the UK, and basically it all kind of lined up because Ireland and Scotland and Wales, but the first original start off as Celtics or Celts in that area. It started off in Wales, and then it travelled on, but they had their own traditions. So for a Celtic, it's a different type of style. For Greeks, before that, the Beyoden at Bayet. Sorry with the name. I'm not really good with the name today. But that's
Well, I
that's
think that's
actually
why
how
there's
it
so many
started.
names for it. That's why there's, St. Bridget's Day, there's Imbolc,
right.
there's Candlemas, because it is
Yeah,
multiple things, but all with little differences depending on the region.
that's I actually love this sort of stuff. I actually do love it. I'm not gonna lie. But straight up, I as soon as you show me, bam, my head was there.
Right. Well, we
Yeah,
figured with
I am
Mbok
actually a Celtic
being
leaning witch as well. I do a lot of learning in the Celtic area, so this is
well,
very
my
interesting.
roots, are when I did the ancestry thing, it was like 75% of my ancestry, except was from the UK. So we might be cousins, Drew.
We possibly could be. My family, my nan's side, originally Irish. So the Lewises. My wife is Irish. And my grandfather's Scottish. And my dad
Right.
is
I
not.
think it's that mine was, there was like, I don't know, 7 or 8% Irish. And then it was 8 or 9% Scotland and Wales, and then like big huge chunk was UK, and I was like, wow, I had no idea. Like really, it was 72% or something,
My largest
and then
percent
I've got
was
like 3%.
Scotland. My largest percent was Scotland, and the one that was just a little less than that was Wales. So no
Yeah,
Irish at all, which is very interesting because my mom got hers back. She had a few percents Irish. She apparently passed none of that to me.
right. Yeah, it just depends on how that trickles down that DNA tree.
Yep.
So anyway, I made the three-legged Bridget's cross here because y'all know the triquetra is my thing here. So for me this looked more like the triquetra kind of sorta. Plus I'm kind of into the triangle and the three and all that stuff. So love that, Drew. Love that.
Nice. I have
Um,
actually had a very off day today, so I have not finished mine. So I will actually be sharing.
Well, no, yeah, I'm going to be making another one as we go here. I just had to refresh myself on making one. And I'm doing red and black pipe cleaners this time.
I had planned to do wire, and I was going to I was going to use jewelry wire. I
Kathy was going to
cannot.
do that too and decided it was a pain in the ass.
Well, I can't find my jewelry tool my wire snippers. So I am
Mm.
actually going to be weaving one with natural cord, essentially. So it'll be a little
Ah,
different, but it'll be fun.
right. Hey,
It's gonna go on
that's
maybe
what.
I'll make a little thing so it can hang, and I'll hang it above my altar.
Right. So, are you gonna actually create here with us, Drew? And what are you
I actually
using?
haven't got any of the tools at the moment because we have to
Uh,
replace them because we do like a lot of crafting in our class. We do a lot of
right.
crafting, and I'm actually got a delivery. So if I knew I was doing something like that, then yeah,
Oh
That's
no,
all
I know
right.
what. I know we put you on the spot. No, that's fine. I was just
no,
asking, if you were, what were you using, and tell us. So, you do crafting. You have
Kind of
the
crafting.
four-legged cross now. Yeah, tell us what kind of crafting do you do?
it depends on the type of crafting we do. We do a lot of different type making ones. We make our own craft in merchandising and also building it. Sorry, my head is not with me today.
That's all
No, I know we got you up early.
um, how do I explain it?
right. We ask ourselves that a lot while we're on the show.
All the time.
I like to make my own candles. I like to make my own incense. I like to build up my own uh, stuff, and we can use any type of tools and areas. So we just love to craft and make stuff.
Right. Sounds a lot like my teacher is the same way. We have made our own wands and made our own stings, and the next level we're going to be doing candles and all kinds of stuff. And now I have totally forgot how to start this thing, Jess. So hold on, I'll have to. And Robin is asking to explain the significance of the Bridget's Cross.
Yes, I was pulling that up so that I could make sure to put it into words because I have had my nighttime medication, and I thought I held off for a little while and didn't take it until right before the show. I didn't think it'd kick in this fast. I did not think
Whoopsie
it'd kick in this
daisy.
fast. Whoops, I am well and properly high. And
I got it
not
right by you.
Yeah.
So I rather
yeah, there we go. Drew actually has it.
I actually got it right by you for you guys, and it's nice because the three authors actually were witches, pagan, and also um, it was done by three authors: Wiccan and witchcraft and paganism, and literally they call it the Bible, but it's a nice little book. We don't usually work from our own books. We like to make it our own. And the British Cross is basically really does get. I'm just reading it quickly. I need to warn people as well.
Sorry, y'all.
We also
Sorry,
need to
go
warn
ahead.
people. I have got ADHD, so I do forget
We
sometimes.
can we understand.
Same.
Yeah.
Totally get it.
I have bipolar disorder. My memory is just shot.
And when I get put on the spot, I'm like, no, I'm usually quite
Well, and I
good.
think this is a really good point to actually point out something that we have talked about before. We have to look things up too. When I tarot is one of my what I consider my biggest strengths. I do love doing tarot readings, but I still have to get the book out and I have to look up exactly to make sure the definitions because like I can't remember the card meanings off the top of my head. So it doesn't make you any less of a witch if you have to look things up. I guess was my point.
Can you
I
remember?
think.
Can you remember when your teachers tells you they say you're always gonna refer back to your book or your book of shadows or any information. You're always refer
Right.
back.
That's what it's there for.
That's what it's there for. Yeah. So that's
Right.
what I'm doing at the moment.
Mitchell is on me all the time about write that shit down. Did you write it down? No, damn it.
We
And
usually write it down.
I'm trying to be better. So y'all, I'm trying to remember how to do this. So
The British cross is a symbol of protection. It's actually protection and peace in the home. So it brings peace into the home. It's protection, it's guidance of protecting your house. That's what I call it, like guidance, because that's what it does. It warns off. It's like a shoe horse. A shoe horse does the same thing. Put on front up, right up. It protects from evil. It shows it from evil. It sends a symbol energy out there.
Right, and I read somewhere that I believe it was that in Ireland maybe that sometimes you still find it in their kitchens to protect from the house burning down.
Yes. In Ireland, that's what they use in Ireland. In Welsh, they would have used where's that one gone? I put sorry. I did this at it. I just showed you. Have you got it on your neck? Your necklace? Can I just borrow your necklace? I put it down.
My triquetra?
Yes, thank you. So that would have been like the Welsh ways, but also the free contributed the quadrant as well. I had it in my hands that little piece. It's all for protection. It's all for protecting it, but it did come from Ireland, the triple quarters, because it was known to back away any evil and any form of shapes. The goddess of British entreats into your home and protection. Sorry, guys, I do apologize. Here to keep but have beliefs. So Osis keeping beliefs. Energy, but Osis got a saying. Do you know why you're making them? Are you actually manifesting into making them? So like
absolutely.
A little thing. It's like yeah.
Oh, cool.
It's like a saying to it.
So usually I did try to make these with like rush grass. It wasn't really rushes, but a type of, what I have here that was like that. That stuff cut my fingers up so bad. I am not doing that again this time. I'm using something nice and soft.
And guys, I'm just gonna make it clear out there for you. It is actually like 7 o'clock in the morning, which is amazing. I've been up since 4 a.m. So.
Well, Drew, we appreciate you for being here, and we will absolutely let you off the hook now. Thank you so much for being part of the show. We really loved having you here. It was exciting, and yes, we're here to support you in any way we can. And
get with us whenever you're ready for us to come and join you over on your show, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Once again, I do apologize not being really good on the spot today.
Oh, no, you're fine. Don't apologize. And for those of y'all that are wanting to do the Bridges Cross, I had to kind of go back and refresh myself that I knew what I was doing. So we're going to let Drew off the line here, and then we'll get down and explain to y'all how to do this, and we'll make one together.
All I'm saying is, every time when you make a Bridges Cross, it's meaning of protection. It's an information of how to carry on and protect your life and protect houses. It's an Irish form of base, but all the symbols and tools we're using to protect ourselves, they all got a different meaning to it, each one of them. And
exactly,
it's all about really. You might have to know the history, but then not every history is in your mind.
You need to have that intention that this is an object of protection.
Yeah.
Right.
Make
Yeah.
sure
Again,
put
yeah,
that
it's
into what you're working
intention.
on.
Yeah.
Nick,
It,
we agree. We absolutely 100% agree. We think we had a great guest tonight, and we're so proud to call him our new friend and look forward to the future with where it goes and watching his academy grow and stuff.
well, tonight was a good night, and I will say again, you guys were literally worth it coming on at this time of the morning, because I don't usually do it for
Well,
everyone. You guys are literally of
well,
a high full respect.
well, you have ours too, Drew, and I hope that you can go lay down now and get you some rest. I hope you don't have to like start your day.
I'm in work in 2 hours, so I'm just gonna be sitting
Well,
there drinking.
Well, go try to get you a power nap or something, or at least lots of caffeine to get you through the day. And thank you so much for being with us and enjoy your day in the UK. We love you so much and can't wait to have you on again.
Thank you very much. It's so much. We love you too. Can I just say something on your live?
Yeah.
So everyone is watching on this live. The NTV is having a look at the moment by executive producer, meaning it's moving on very well. But I will be highly recommending these out on my social media platform to movie actors and to other people. So if you guys can do me the biggest favor and share as much as you can, because these ladies are absolutely brilliant, and I highly, highly recommend them by Phoenix and Stags Company in the United Kingdom. And if you guys can give enough share to them, I'd be really respectful if you do that. And we have done really well to come and make a connection and a bond to these beautiful ladies. And if any paranormal teams
You
out
could have
there,
made me cry, Drew.
it's okay, don't cry, please don't cry. If we all can just do a big favor, all the paranormal teams I know out there, they all know me out there. Some of them do, some of them don't. But they know me for my entertainment and other stuff. If you can actually give these ladies a massive recommendation and put 5-star on their one recommendation on it as well, and put as much info out there about them, then please can you do that on my behalf? That'd be great if you do that. Nick, if you can help out as well, buddy, that'd be great. And Irene, will you do the same? So, ladies,
that's awesome.
Thank you for letting me come on the show. I'm gonna be popping off now.
All right.
Okay.
Well, we will talk to you later.
You have a good day, Drew.
Blessed be, sisters.
Blessed be, Drew.
Bye-bye.
Bye. What a sweetheart he is.
Absolutely.
I just love him. I knew the first night he and I talked that I just loved him. So, and I see you get a little bit emotional over there too. That was very sweet and kind, for him to say all those lovely things about us. If he only knew.
Bingo.
So, yeah, of course, we're probably going to run just a couple minutes over, but these things do not take long. He is a super duper guy, Irene, and yeah, he's just lovely. We love Drew. So, I've got a bunch of damn pipe cleaners here in front of me. Now I had to go back and watch the video for a minute to refresh my memory. So, piece number one, you're going to fold them in half, whatever you're using, so fold it, and then you take and again, this is the 3-legged. If you want to make the 4-legged like Drew was showing, go YouTube that shit, because I ain't fucking doing it. Go ahead and hit your number 4 there, Jess.
I highly suggest looking up Michael Fortune on YouTube, his videos of the ways to make the 4-legged, 3-legged, and the 12 rushes. Very easy to follow. He is, just from what I have seen, brilliant.
Right. Thank you, Nick, for joining us. And it's 1:20 in Alabama as well, so we understand. We're so glad that you got a chance to join us and got us on a good night when we had Drew. So we appreciate you being here. So, yes, as I was said, so you take my red one is my number one, and I'm going to keep that my number one so we can kind of see where we're at in the line here. Then you're going to take number two and you fold it over number one, and we're just going to do number one, number two, number three. Then you're going to take number three, and you're going over the one that you just folded each time. We love you too, Robin. And then on this third one, you do want to come back through the number one. That's how you make your middle there. I don't know how well y'all can see this. Let's see, I'm coming back through number one. And pull them tight. Y'all can't even imagine how bad I struggled last year trying to do this with actual grass. So, and there you kind of got your center. So,
Hey, that doing it with a string over here is not very fun either.
And so you're always, and then you just go back and you keep wrapping the one that you just did. Oops.
So there's Drew in the chat now.
Hey, Drew. So yeah, just poke this one through. So they're going to be like at 12 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and 8 o'clock. When you get your center done there. And then you just keep wrapping the one you did. So what mixes me up is I'm twisting it backwards, because we're used to working clockwise and we're going counterclockwise here.
Well,
but you just keep twisting and wrapping the previous
doing it with string is not going to work. So, trust me. So while you do that, I'm going to maybe share a little bit about the traditions and what most people usually do to celebrate Imbolc while you're making that.
Okay. Good? Sounds good. So yeah, you just keep wrapping and twisting.
So Imbolc, or St. Bridget's Day, is starting actually in 2023. It will be considered a public holiday in the Republic of Ireland, which I feel like is probably a big win for the pagans.
Right.
Okay, so most people, first thing you want to do, if you have an altar that you typically change with the holidays or the seasons or whatever, this is when you'll want to set up an Imbolc altar. You'll have a Bridget's cross. Let's see. Typically red and white are actually associated with Bridget, but she's also taught to color green.
By doing red.
You did.
Kathy, that's why you were being called to do green, honey, is because it's associated with Bridget.
And if you cannot see anyone else's comments, Kathy, you're probably going to want to switch. If you're watching it on Spirit, switch over to Things. If you're watching it on Things Network, switch over to Spirit.
So you just keep twisting and wrapping, y'all, until you feel like you've twisted and wrapped enough. Yep. So you've got the little desired center there that you want. I think traditionally it's 16 rushes. I could be wrong. Oh, I'm out of red ones. I'm going to have to go to black now. Hey, Drew. We absolutely loved having you.
Absolutely. So after you can set up your inbox
And so
altar.
excited to have you as a new friend.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
There are some inbox candle rituals that you can do. This is technically in many pagan traditions. This time of year, this holiday is considered a season of beginnings. So it is a great time to start things or rededicate yourself to things or um, things
Kathy
like
and I
that.
were just talking about that this evening
Hmm.
before we came on about dedicating yourself to things. And
Yep. Yep. This is a time to rededicate, start new things, put forth those good intentions. Put your good intent. Get you a bay leaf and do you set your intentions. Put your wishes out there. Um, there are quite a few devotionals that you can find online for chants, prayers, whatever you would like to call it. There's actually even some ways they have to celebrate um, in bulk with children. Typically, it tends to include cooking, things like that, because she's the hearth goddess. She's associated with cooking and family life. So get with your family and cook you up a big, huge meal and just,
so when you're done, yeah, since I got pipe cleaners, I can just twist off my ends here pretty easy. Um, but if you were using rushes, or you would get some kind of little twine or something to twist off your ends.
mm. And I just, while doing this research, I'm seeing
And
that
then,
this is a good time to do some scrying with fire. I know that you tend to be called to scry with fire. So because this is considered a festival of fire, maybe it's a good time for you to do a little scrying with fire.
right, and there
Ooh,
is
Robin, a new romance. That's fun.
my Bridget's cross.
Looks really cool. You did a good job.
So, and look, we're still gonna be on cue. Well, what are we talking about Thursday?
Let's see, where is let me pull our calendar up. We finally got smarter and we made a note in the iCloud app notes, and we shared it with each other so we can both edit it and keep track of it. And it's been wonderful. So next week is February 3rd, and we are going to be talking about love spells and the ethics involved and why we ourselves do not do love spells.
Right, the full moon is Monday night, Tuesday morning, Robin, which is also in bulk. So a good time to make your Bridget's cross and enchant it and bless it and hang it over your
I think it's going to
door.
be a powerful time because with Imbolc being the season of beginnings and then the full
Right,
moon tends to be endings, that's
right.
a very powerful moment.
And for us, as my class, we did not get to graduate last Tuesday because someone was sick. So we put it off till this Tuesday coming up. So we actually get to graduate on the full moon on Imbolc. And so, yeah, that's really going to be new beginnings. And we're ending level 3 and moving into level 4. So, yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, absolutely. And Irene, that's very interesting. And we really would love to hear more about it. If you want to message one of us, and let's go ahead and see if we can't figure out where we can plug you in at.
Right. Yeah, we
So,
want to get you.
yeah. Next
on this show.
Sunday, we're going to actually be doing a self-love ritual candle spell type thing. So you're going to want a pink or a red candle if you have it. If not,
A
something
white, a tea
white
light, a
do
birthday candle, whatever
whatever.
you got.
And if you have some way to heat that candle, I believe was the decision. Well, you have three options. One,
Well,
if
yeah,
you've got a candle
I
that is
didn't get
not in
it.
a jar, we you want to have some sort of oil like coconut oil or something that you can rub on the candle, and then we'll have all of our herbs and you'll roll the candle in the herbs and burn it. Or you can heat just the top little bit of the candle with a what is it, a heat gun?
Yeah, I did not end up getting one, so um, I thought we were going to be able to borrow one, but we have not rounded one up. So my dad may have one, but so we'll plan to do the, just rolling it in the herbs and, talk about other ways that they can do it. Or, people that make their own candles, can absolutely, make the
Absolutely.
candle and add the herbs to it. So we
I
did
actually
put
am
out a
opting.
list
I'm
of,
going to have a candle warmer actually, and I'm gonna, warm and melt the entire candle and mix my herbs and everything into that, and then let it dry again. So that'll be, two different ways that we're doing it.
right,
It
right,
will be able to show you guys. So it's going to be fun. You're going to want. We did put out a Terry put out a post with a list of kind of all the things that you'll kind of the bones of what you'll need. You can add or subtract as you see fit or what makes sense for you, but it's just kind of a baseline. This is what, this is some good stuff to use.
right. To get you started, or
Right.
or to spark your ideas to get you started. As always, we always say we're not telling you this is the right way or the wrong way. This is
We're
just
just
one of
giving
the
you the
ways that,
bones.
yeah, this is just one of the ways that we would do it, because I can tell y'all, I could sit here and do a spell with y'all tonight and then next month do the same exact spell and it be completely different. So just
Absolutely.
because I do it one way today doesn't mean I'll do it that way tomorrow. That's
Absolutely.
why your Book of Shadows is so important.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
that way you can, when you do that stuff, you can, go back and see what worked, what didn't work, what worked fastest, what worked slower, um, so anyway, y'all, we know Jess's meds are kicking in for her, and Kathy and I
I'm
had
trying
sleepy
so
time.
hard. Oh,
We
God.
had sleepy time tea over here, and yeah, I'm struggling. So, um,
I did want to say one last thing, and I wanted to say that our candle spell is going to lead us into, and I'm not going to go into everything about the following week, but that is going to lead us into candle magic. So you have that to look forward to.
right. So we've got. Well, I think we did post the whole February schedule
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
Alabama Skeleton
I
Key
am going to make a
page.
nice, cute little graphic that's going to be easier for you guys to save, or it's just going to catch your eye better. So
Right. So, well, thank you everybody again for joining us. We love y'all. Irene, glad to have you. Robin, Kathy, all of our regulars who are always with us. Drew, we cannot thank you enough for making this a great, the last show of January. We really kicked off January rocking it here. And Drew was just a great wrap up to January, so we really appreciate him being here with us. And y'all definitely check out his academy.
absolutely, absolutely. Well, I guess that's really all we've got. And thank you guys for coming. We want to thank the Things Network. We want to thank all of you in the chat because, we couldn't do it without you guys. And yeah, I guess that's really it. So what is our one-liner going to be? Jesus was a vampire, and I want to know when I'm going to get my owl. Gotta wait for a second for the delay.